Some time ago, I posted an episode where I gave you some tips for filmmakers. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to do the same for screenwriters, those who are specifically just into writing, who are masters in writing. In other words, who are wordsmiths, if you haven't heard that word before. Welcome, story lovers, to the Story Dude Show with your host, Jared Dean Winchester, bringing you another episode for the month of May 2024. So let's get right into it, shall we? When it comes to screenwriters, there are a few tips that I will be focusing on. One of them, if you haven't seen it, my last episode, I talked about typewriters. So this is your tip number one. Get a typewriter. Practice patience on it. It will, I guarantee you, it will force you to be patient. It will not allow you to rush into things. If you do end up rushing into things, then the consequence of that is you're going to be forced to get rid of that page and retype it. Now, you may be asking, why would I do that? Why would I ever do that when I've got this computer that I can quickly go back and change it all and continue on? Now, that's a valid claim. That's a valid argument, that's a valid rebuttal. But what I'm going to try to say is, when it comes to patience, you cannot rush things, because in writing you have to go with the flow. You have to allow yourself time to let your story come to you, to let your characters speak to you naturally, which you will in turn will give you the confidence in believing in your characters and in your story. That will be my tip number one. Now, tip number two, when it comes to when you finish your screenplay, don't just give in to any Joe Smo to critique it, because a lot of them are actually not qualified. Even in the mainstream industry, they're not qualified. Because I can tell you this because based on my personal experience. I gained some experience in Hollywood, and I can tell you for sure, first-hand experience, that the critics are not qualified. They don't even know what they're talking about, and they don't even know what they're critiquing. They don't even know what they're saying. Some of them have grammatical errors. So don't give your work to any Joe Schmo. Don't even give it to anybody that doesn't know how to read a screenplay, doesn't know the ins and outs of screenplay, the plot, and everything else that you know about screenplays and the story. Don't give it to anybody that doesn't know that. What you want to do is you want to find yourself a professional. You want to find yourself a professional. Now, even though this professional charges you an arm and a leg, I want you to follow their advice. Now, this is the professional. Now, they know what they're talking about. And also, if you have any filmmaker friends, or if you have any other screenwriting buddies, and if you have or are going to a screenwriting group that you are subscribed to, by all means, let them have a crack at it. Let them critique it for you. However, remember, this is your story. You are the final judge and jury. You need to trust your own judgment. The buck stops with you, as the saying would go. So you will be the final judge of it. You have to have confidence in that. So have confidence in this. And my third tip, which is correlated to the last one, have confidence in your characters and in your story. Believe in your characters and your story. Now, just lately, I've got a favorite Tollywood director. Yes, Tollywood, not Bollywood. If you don't know what that is, Tollywood is South Indian Bollywood, simply put. But as my favorite director in Tollywood has put it, S.S. Rajamouli, don't just be making or writing films just to make money. Do it because you believe in your characters and in your story. And evidence of that is his movie RRR, which received an Oscar for one of the performances in the movie. Now that's big. So, believe in your characters and in your story. And after all is said and done, after you receive all the criticism, constructive criticism I'm talking about, it better be constructive. Now, tip number 4. Don't by default aim straight to mainstream cinema. Don't do that, because there are plenty of opportunities because of the rise of YouTube, or should I say the availability of YouTube, and because of the availability of streaming services like Netflix, and with streaming services like Vimeo, where filmmakers and other professional artists can post their work, and so that they can be found. Stick to independent filmmaking and independent producers, so, and build your network that way. And bonus tip I'm going to give you is write what your audience knows about a particular subject. For example, let's just say you're writing a movie, writing your script about justice. What you could do your research by finding out what your target audience knows about it, and then try to shape your story and your characters around that. Use your creativity that way by shaping them based on what the target audience around you knows. So that would be my bonus tip. Now, this tip also extends to filmmakers as well, because filmmakers are also creative professionals. This extends to them too. So there you have it, my tips for screenwriters, my basic tips for screenwriters. So thank you for joining me for this episode of the Story Dude Show. I post anywhere between 2 to 3 episodes per month of this show, so be sure to check all of them out. And as always, thank you for watching, and until I see you again, don't forget to turn that page.